we were going to go over and check out Atozy, see what the update is here, because Atozy's been following the Johnny Somali thing for a while, and let's give this a good look.
Absolutely terrible for the disrespectful IRL streamer who's now stuck in South Korea because he just got hit with another deepfake charge.
Oh, another one. Lovely. Thank you, Atozy, for all of your hard work.
Which adds an additional 10.5 years of potential prison time in South Korea, which means the grand total of prison time that he's currently facing is 31 years in a South Korean prison. And he just admitted all the attention he's currently getting isn't even worth it anymore.
In the long run, do you think that it is worth it?
At this point, no.
I mean, come on. Congratulations, you played yourself. Overall, harassing strangers in public should never be incentivized in general, but massive skill issue because you simply picked the worst countries to do it. Maybe not the worst, but definitely terrible countries to be doing this streaming in. Because let's be real, if he was doing this in the US, most likely he would be out on bail and he would only get a slap on the wrist for any trials that he actually went to. And I guess for some reason, this absolute moron still operates like he's in the US. How you doing?
Good, what are you?
Good, can't complain. Currently recording this video in a business center in a Weston in Boston because I'm currently traveling, but news happened, so here we are. But I mean, hey, I'm only stuck in a Weston business center temporarily. Johnny is stuck in South Korea for the foreseeable future. Because I mean, right after the trial I watched, he was playing it cool. He was like, oh, nothing's really gonna happen to me. Nothing ever happens. I'll be out in no time. A couple months later, he's lost a lawyer. He's still stuck there. And new charges are dropping pretty much monthly at this point. I don't know if he's going to get let off the hook as quickly as he thought. So it now seems like reality is really starting to set in with this guy as his only friend and financial supporter is starting to get extremely fed up with him.
Yeah. This is getting ridiculous because the Korean courts are playing him like a frickin' goblin. They're just beating the pants off him. So, yeah. Because, yeah, they don't want to actually put him in jail because they don't want to actually have to pay for him.
As he's getting more and more charges. But at this point, most people know the story. Absolute moron, goes to Japan, gets in a whole bunch of trouble there, ends up doing about 3 months of jail in Japan, absolutely does not learn his lesson, goes to Israel, gets detained a bunch, gets a bunch of threats, ends up doing something that gets him permanently banned on his only platform that he actually makes good money from, which is Kick, and then he ends up fleeing Israel while still permanently banned from Kick. What does he do? Absolutely still does not learn his lesson. He then goes to South Korea, rinse and repeat, does the same thing all over again. Now,
and this is one of those, why, dude? Why? It's the clout chasing. It's terrible.
facing 31 years in prison because clearly he has still not learned his lesson. And nobody feels bad for him whatsoever because he has not learned his lesson whatsoever. He's just been given way too many chances to, you know, pack things up and pivot the way he's making content. But instead, he just continues to double down. Even after admitting the attention is not worth it, he still wants the attention. And a lot of people have been asking me, hey, why isn't he currently arrested in South Korea? Well, South Korea apparently operates very differently, especially when it comes to foreigners. Apparently, they don't want to spend the taxpayers' money on taking care of Johnny. They want to put that burden to provide for himself on Johnny. So now, Johnny essentially is homeless, except for Hank. He is now a burden to Hank and Hank's family because I guess Hank thinks it's a good idea to continue to pay for him. Because Hank, for some reason, thinks that's the right thing to do, even though, as you'll see, it's destroying his life as well. Johnny is a sinking ship and he's dragging everyone he can down with him. Because Johnny is stuck in Korea for the foreseeable future.
Well, one of the worst things about all that is if he so much as steps foot outside the door, all of a sudden he's got the entire loot goblin problem because everybody's going to be hunting him down because he has to hide himself. If he were actually inside of a jail with the Korean government actually taking care of him, well, they'd be able to keep him away from people who would hurt him, but they don't want to pay the money. That's just how that is. So he has to fend for himself. And yeah, Korea is not a very happy place for him right now.
He cannot leave Korea until all of his court cases are done, all of his time is served, and all of his fines are paid. Then he can finally leave. So until recently, he's had 5 charges that stuck and then 1 that got dismissed. 2 of them are misdemeanors, 2 of them are obstruction of business felonies, which hold a maximum of 5 years each in prison. Then
yeah, that last spot right there where he's pouring the bottle out. Yeah, you're not allowed to drink in the place. No, you're allowed to go buy your soju and leave. You're not supposed to drink it there.
You have one deepfake charge, which has a maximum of 10.5 years in prison. And just now, they added another deepfake charge, which adds another 10.5 years of potential prison time.
Ooh, another 10.5. Ugh. That's not good.
South Korea. So he's now facing a maximum of 31 years in prison. And I guess after all this, he's slowly starting to realize that he's ruined his life.
I talked to my mom this week, and she was like, really just like, you need to stop drinking. Like,
You need to stop drinking, bro. Bro, that's not even it. You need to stop clout chasing.
it's ruining your life. You're 24, you know what I mean? You don't need to be drinking and doing this crazy because, you know what I mean? Like,
Shout out to 15 Minutes of Shame for cleaning up the audio.
alcohol is definitely the reason why I've done so many great. And it's, do not back down, never give up. It's not backing down, never giving up. It's about just bettering yourself as a person. I think I'd truly be a better person if I didn't drink alcohol.
Yeah, you'd truly be a better person if you quit clout chasing, bro. Like, stop. But you've already FA'd and you're in the FO phase right now, so that kind of sucks for you. And honestly, when this is all over, I hope you find Jesus.
I feel like it doesn't bring anything better. It doesn't bring anything positive to my life. You know what I mean? I can make good content without drinking alcohol, like, easily.
When Johnny is sober, he actually has some fairly reasonable takes. But that didn't really last for too long because, according to 15 Minutes of Shame, 1 single hour later, he was already drunk streaming.
Come party with us.
It's a quiet hour, though.
Okay, you like Diddy?
Yeah, I like Daddy.
You like this song?
Wait. Outside, I couldn't hear either.
Then come here and sit with us.
Dude, you bought another one?
No, it's the same one we had.
No, it's not.
Ace it is.
You finished the last one.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
I'm lying to you. It isn't one. All right, come Hank. Don't the bike. Can you dance with Diddy with me one time?
Well,
He looks so disappointed and he is holding it back. Just that image, just this image on his face, just the look. He's like, my God, I have no way out. I cannot find my way out. I am cooked.
why are you like drinking so much, man? Come on.
Listen to Diddy with me, please.
All right.
I mean, Hank here is just acting like a disappointed father, and this is Johnny's only lifeline in Korea. Why would he be actively trying to burn this bridge? I guess he just can't help himself. But the reason I say this is in an interview, they actually admitted that Johnny has ran out of money, and Hank is his only lifeline, even though Johnny will still go on and on about saying, oh, I actually have money, and I'm not broke.
Legal mindset and these channels, they spread like fake narratives that like I'm penniless and things like this. It's not true, but that I'm destitute and this stuff for me. I've been living an okay life here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, unfortunately, there's no receipts for that. And, well, he is streaming to party. I don't know exactly what his fund income on that is, but it is what it is. If it's not providing very much money, then basically Hank's footing the bill. And yeah, that's what everybody can assume. So, with regards to everything, allegedly, Hank is taking care of everything. And what are we supposed to think?
I stay with Hank, so I don't really have expenses for living.
But here's the reality of the situation.
I have sacrificed my finances. You know, like I've actually, like Johnny ran out of money because
Bam, there it is. Completely admitted. There it is.
they refused Johnny to work. So I've been actually providing for him.
He's been helping me a lot. He's been helping me with not only like legal fees and stuff like this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's helped me pay for a lawyer and stuff like that. And he's a great friend. Like, honestly, I respect him for that. And when I get out of here, a lot of it I do owe to Hank. He's a real man.
Yeah. So, and not to mention that I sacrificed time and space here, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that all he says is he respects Hank for that, dude, if it wasn't from Hank, from what we're hearing, he would be homeless. So, I mean, the least he could be is a little more grateful to Hank, because apparently he was starving before Hank took him in.
And I actually fed him back to health, too. He was very unhealthy.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, very skinny. Hank claims when I was living on my own in Korea, I was very skinny and gaunt, you know? Maybe my diet was not good, but Hank is definitely... People now on the internet are saying I have, like, a gut and man boobs now because Hank has been feeding. I've been on the Hank diet, and Hank has been feeding me so well.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Oh, yeah, bro.
Yeah, bro, thank you for not letting me starve. Bro fist for that one. But apparently things are so bad that Hank, he's being supported by his family, and his family is threatening to cut that off because he keeps on funneling that money back to Johnny.
I risk my family not paying my tuition to help Johnny.
Yeah, that's where all of a sudden it comes down to it a bit. Him actually admitting that is kind of insane, because it's where the one thing that everybody kind of has to understand with Asian culture is Hank's family is probably losing face with regards to this, and he finds himself caught with regards to the situation. Like, he feels cooked, he doesn't know where to go, and he's trying to figure out a way to save face while actually giving the best route that he can. So he's in a rock and hard spot, but he's stuck. And I mean, as a Christian, I can feel for them, because they seriously are stuck where they're at. And with regards to watching this whole thing unfold, it's like these are people who are not repentant. They do not want to actually ask for forgiveness. They keep doing their ways and what they want to do and following their free will down a pretty dark path. And yeah, they're going to keep finding out.
Because I believe that helping Johnny was right thing to do. Pretty much.
His mom hates me. Your mom hates me, right?
Yeah. My mom hates you. My grandparents hate you.
And you said, despite all that, he's my friend, and wrong is being done to him, and I'm going to make sure that he gets out of Korea safely.
Yeah.
This is a real one.
I mean, bro.
Why would you ever destroy your own life and ruin your standing with your own family over Johnny? This is clearly someone who's only using him because he has no options left. But that is still not stopping Hank from allegedly pulling some strings to get Johnny a new attorney. But apparently this attorney isn't from the big leagues. He is an attorney. That's about it.
So he's got both a public defender that was originally covering his his Western District case, and a private lawyer.
Thank you to Legal Mindset. He definitely covers a lot of this stuff on the regular.
Which was on the East, which is now registered in the West. So we're going to talk about this lawyer. So we actually predicted who this lawyer was. We had a leak. Ramsey gave a leak about who this lawyer was. We now know officially the lawyer is Choi Gwang-ho, or Gwang-ho Choi. Choi is his family name. So that is the lawyer that has registered. He is a tax attorney.
Oh, Lord, help me. I shouldn't be laughing, but oh, the choices. I did hear somewhere else that allegedly the lawyer is primarily a tax attorney, but has been in criminal courts something like 5 or 6 times in the last so many years. I mean, that's allegedly. I can't speak to it. But honestly, it's like asking, oh God, trying to think of one of the other law tubers that I know of. Uncivil Law. Yeah, Kurt. It's like asking Kurt to step aside from him being a patent lawyer on his day job to pick you up as your legal defense in a criminal trial. I mean, granted, Kurt is a decent lawyer. I mean, it's not his day job to defend somebody criminally. I mean, I'm pretty sure Kurt would do his level best if you were paying his retainer and his billable hours. I mean, he'd probably try his best to actually get you through something, so long as you didn't continue to do stupid things to FAFO. But, I mean, honestly, a lawyer is only as good as the information that they have and their knowledge of the legal everything. Now, is it really that great to have a lawyer who's primarily a tax attorney that is focused on tax law to represent you in a criminal court? Well, he's going to be referencing his law books a lot to try to actually get you through this. But that's dicey. Dicey.
He has not been inside a criminal courtroom in 20 years. Let me say that one more time. He has not been inside a criminal courtroom in 20 years. He is a tax attorney. So what probably happened, and this is something that we said, was this is probably a friend of Hanky Poo's family who got put on this case.
And apparently his entire legal strategy for the deepfake charge has been a complete flop.
His whole big legal talk, his whole big legal strategy was, we're going to settle with Bong Bong. We're going to settle with the female victim. We're going to pressure her. And they wanted to threaten her because she showed the image on her stream as well. But she showed it.
What an American way of thinking on that. Yeah, that isn't how the Korean court system works from what I understand. I mean, I may be wrong, but that's just, ooh, wow.
To show how mad she was about it, being like, this is wrong, right? So he tried to blackmail the victim. And not only did that fail, it literally backfired in his face. When he tried to blackmail the female victim, the prosecutor probably saw this and said, oh, hell no, we're going to double down and give you another one. And by the way, there will be no settlement on that one because it's with the Korean YouTubers that you are literally attacking and threatening with defamation. Remember, guys, Hank and Johnny have been threatening to sue the Korean YouTubers and myself, by the way, threatening to sue me with defamation in Korea. Do you think that people that you threatened to sue, and you are suing, you literally said you're suing them, you were threatening Dalgoon, you're threatening some other people, do you think they're going to come to some settlement with you? By the way, that doesn't even really work in Korean court. Even if they...
Man, you can tell Andrew is just, oof. He's mad. He's trying to hold it back. Oof. And of course, this don't work.
Were to say, oh yeah, we agree. They still, the prosecutor could still bring it.
I mean, the issue with Johnny is most of what he says is hot air. Unfortunately for him, the judge and prosecutor might not know that because he's made a bunch of threats and he's said a lot of stupid stuff. So it's safe to say this backfires tremendously on this guy. Because let's be real, all he had to do after he got caught, even after making all the mistakes in Japan and all the mistakes in Israel, and I guess all the mistakes in Korea, once they charged him formally, all he had to do was shut up, apologize, be respectful, and he probably would have gotten left off with somewhat of a slap on the wrist.
Yeah, but unfortunately, as we've seen with all of the other coverage that's been going on, he's constantly got to chase the clout because he's got to chase his donos. It's just a thing because, of course, from what Hank already admitted, he's running out of money. So, of course, they got to chase that bag. And chasing that bag is going to lead to more charges, which is an infinite loop, which I'm afraid he's just slowly cooking himself like a frog in the pot.
Instead, he does the polar opposite. He disrespects the judge, the prosecutor, the victims, the people covering it, and the Korean citizens. That's not going to give you any leniency with the judge. I mean, the dude is just playing the worst cards possible as a social experiment to see how the Korean justice system will handle that. But for every day that passes, it seems like the penalty is going to be harsher and harsher. Then to make things worse for himself, apparently, he lost a lawyer.
Just today, we had the public defender step down. Now,
what? Oh, no. No. Oh, Not good.
That is likely they were actually removed from the case. That means they weren't the ones who petitioned it. It was the court that did it, probably because he no longer qualifies for a public defender. When you have a private attorney, that typically disqualifies you from having a public defender. So,
true fact, that actually works in the United States as well. When you get assigned a public attorney, then, I mean, this is just old lore for me from way, 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 way back. Yeah, when you have a public attorney, then you get appointed one, whatever, because you're legally allowed to. And the unfortunate part is if you go forward and hire a private attorney, then all of a sudden you will get, disqualified from having that public attorney. So all of a sudden it's assumed that the burden of payment goes on you for having your legal defense. So it's assumed that you will have a better defense than a public attorney, because the public attorney, normally they're only going to put the minimal in there and possibly get a plea bargain on you, and that way you can safely plea guilty to whatever it is so that you can get a mitigated sentence. That's about what that is.
it appears that he was disqualified from that.
So now the case will be even more expensive for Johnny, or Hank, depending on who's footing the bill here. And Legal Mindset also issued a correction here saying the attorney has actually been to court 5 times in the last 20 years, or at least 5 times. But apparently he's lost all 5 of those cases. So Johnny has now hired a guy who's gone 0 for 5 over the last 20 years, and he's still acting up during his trial. I mean, by the way Johnny is acting, you would have thought, hey, he hired some big league attorney with this big boy crypto money he has. But the reality is different. And as I stated previously, he's now admitting that it's not worth it anymore. He's banned on Kick. That was the platform he could actually make decent money on, and they're most definitely not going to take him back. And we learned that from Ice Poseidon.
In the long run, do you think that is worth it?
At this point, no.
So now,
and for that soundbite, I've got to ask, if you're admitting that, dude, why do you keep doing it?
Johnny is permanently banned on Kick. He's also permanently banned from Patreon, apparently, and Airbnb.
I'm permanently banned from Patreon. Permanently banned from Airbnb. I don't even know how. Somebody sent some kind of...
Well, the only thing that I can assume is if you're on Airbnb and you decide to trash every place that you actually stay in, eventually you're gonna get banned. Because if you don't respect the places that you're staying at, then all of a sudden Airbnb is just going to say, no, you're a high risk for everybody else's property. So no, you're done. You're cooked. Bye.
Airbnb.
So it's hard for him to make a living streaming. It's harder for him to collect donations. And it's hard for him to live somewhat cheap, because Airbnb is a good way to live cheap when you're long-term staying abroad. So his options here are Hank's place or expensive hotels. That's tough. But that was the...
Well, they forgot the third option that they really don't like in Asia is sleeping on the street. But, that comes with an even higher risk of him actually getting loot goblined.
Quick Johnny Smalley update. I will return home soon, so I'm not recording the next video in the West End Business Center here in Boston. And I'll be back in my studio with my microphone that everyone says looks kind of sus. But hey, it's a whole lot better than the phone. But hopefully, the phone makes do for now. If you're new here, feel free to subscribe. YouTube thinks you'll enjoy this video, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.
Yep, definitely nice. Definitely nice. So it's one of those, yep. Yeah, it's one of those, give them a like, comment, subscribe.